how to approach virtual communication if you are going through recruitment process?
So as a person who's trying to get a job, you're generally not going to get a lot of choice over the mode. So then the question becomes, how do you use each mode most effectively? So there's a lot of research on virtual interviews, especially over video calls. And there's a few key things. One, you of course want to dress professionally. Two, you want to be thoughtful about your background. There's research that shows that backgrounds involving plants and bookcases, they just seem more professional than your novelty background with like an iceberg and a walrus on it. So you don't necessarily want to be doing something funny in the background. Where it becomes a little bit trickier is with eye contact that I mentioned a bit earlier, because with video calls, you want to make sure that you have good eye contact. And research shows that eye contact on video calls during interviews actually predicts the interviewer's rating of the person who is interviewing for the position. So a quick solution to this is to just make sure that you drag the other person's screen that you're looking at, the picture of their video, to right under your webcam, so that the area you're focusing on your screen is as close to the webcam as possible. There's also some actual devices you can get, like hanging webcams or webcams that stick on your screen to make your life easier with eye contact. So that's some example of things you want to think about during video interactions. When it comes to email interactions, it's good to err on the side of over rather than under communicating. So ideally, you want to hit the optimal amount of communication, but that's not clear to most of us. What's the ideal amount of messages I should send or emails? Should I send that thank you note or not? And the idea here, and what research also suggests is useful, is that under communication tends to be punished more than over communication. So if they send you an email that doesn't necessarily need a response, it can be more useful to send a, okay, thank you, I got it, as opposed to being radio silent. And if you think about it this way, let's say you're the sender of the message. Which is worse to you? You send a message and you're not sure if the other person even read it, or you send a message and they acknowledge it and they seem a little overeager. Obviously, the situation where the person seems a little overeager as opposed to inattentive is the side you want to be on. And just the last piece of advice I always have is thank you emails are always a nice thing to do. Even if it feels a little weird, just writing a nice note that's clearly personalized, you talk about a couple of things that you spoke about in the interview, can go a really, really long way.